more disconcerting than anything, but there were two stores left in a small mall I went to that was in its last month. The first was a sword and fantasy weapons store. It looked like the dude had a whole collection and just got the floor spaceship. He wasn't even really trying to sell them, but he had a bunch of cool ones and signs about breaking and buying and was a total nerd and rude. Weird, but no scary. The other was a random trashy bullshit store. It had just a ton of junk. Among that junk was a case. In that case were knives, lighters, brass knuckles, wallets, and other junky bullshit. Those in and of themselves aren't really troubling. The troubling part is they all were bearing the swastika of Nazi Germany. I'm not down with Nazis, so I looked at the old man running it and was about to give him hell, but honestly, he looked to be in poor health and looked rough, so I decided against it and just turned around and left. But before I leave, I saw these two gentlemen that obviously were trying to buy the case. I did not understand what they were saying since they were talking in another language, but the thing that disturbs me a lot is that these guys were interested in that case so much that they offered the old man a bag full of money. I mean, not a normal bag, but the gym bags. You know, the big ones that people use to go to gym with. The bag was full of money, so much that when they opened the zip, it almost fell out. I did not stay to watch what would happen since one of the men over there was staring me down for some reason. They obviously didn't wanted me to stay there. Between the unfriendliness of the shopkeepers, their weird items, and the overall hollow feeling being hammered home by seeing a favorite toy store of my childhood empty and desolate, it was my creepiest dead mall experience. The food court, but with activity, a symphony of voices and clicking cutlery going off the polished floors. Seated alone, I savored a moment of tranquility. Image to chaos, my senses don't buy the cacophony that's around me. But tranquility turned to her knees when a message flashed across my phone's screen, disturbing the fragile peace and familiar number and unfamiliar message. I dismissed it as a wrong number until another message followed it, chilling me to the core. I see you. My heart skipped a beat as I scanned the crowded food court, searching for any sign of a watchful gaze. Terror and fear climbs the edges of my mind when I realize that the gravity of this situation. Who could this person be, and how did they know where I was? Desperate for answers, or mustered the courage to respond only to be met. What's cryptic assurances that they had the right number, feared tight and its group as I grappled with the implication of their word. The minute stretched into eternity, each passing moment fraught with tension, every sound, every movement seen magnified as I waited for the unknown to reveal itself. But amid the chaos of the food court, there was no discernible threat, no indication of the dangers lurking in the shadows as I gathered my belongings and left the food court. A sense of unease settled over me, like a suffocating blanket. The once familiar surroundings felt firm, every shadow concealing and seeing tears was trembling hands. I navigated the maze of corridors, each step heavy with the weight of anticipation. Every corner, return, every door past brought me closer to the unknown, closer to the lurking danger that threatened to consume me. Hours passed and a blur of anxiety and uncertainty until finally I emerged from the depths of the mall, eager to leave. As I stepped into the cool embrace of the night, a final message pierced excitement, sending a chill down my spine, leaving so soon the hairs on the back of my neck stood on, and as I realized the gravity of the situation, someone was watching me, following my every move with sinister and chat with the racing cars. I fled to the safety of my car, praying that the ordeal was finally over. But as I drove home, the echoes of the encounter reverberated in my mind, leaving me with more questions than answers. Who was this mysterious stalker, and what do they want from me? Though the days passed without incident, the memory of that fateful encounter lingered, shadows feared lurking just beneath the surface, and as I gazed, dug into the darkness of the night, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. At the nightmare, it was far from over. I remember it was around midnight. I had too many beers, so just like any other gentleman, I decided to drive home by myself. I was in the central mall of my city, so yeah, it was big. I was going to the parking spot to drive my car home before anyone sees me. All of a sudden, I found myself in the bar I was at the beginning. I said to myself, well, fuck it, let's have more fun now that you're here. It was 4 a.m. Since it was too late, I decided to stay till morning, and the owner of the bar was my friend, so I was comfortable. Around 5:30, I was going through the mall to get to the other side where parkings were. It was an open mall, like there was a park in the middle of it. When I believe I saw a man, hands full of blood, shirt torn apart. He looked at me, did not say a word, just gone back in the spot I saw him come out from. I was too scared to call the police. I just ran and never looked back. One day later, they found some guy's body in one of the mall's shops with the corpse of his girlfriend. I know that our world is a dirty place.